Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Villain's Room. I'm your host, Mills, and we do have a lot to talk about today, especially relating to the red pill space. There's been a lot going on, let's hop into it real quick. The red pill space. Now, the red pill space is very interesting. There have been a lot of YouTube channels who have, of course, risen to, of course, support the red pill space and bring these women on, provoke these emotions in these women to prove their points that men have to always be illogical and they can't afford to be emotional. And to some degree, to some extent, I do agree with that. There's just more consequences for an emotional man than an emotional woman. Just much more dangerous. And if you guys don't agree, you should look at some cop videos. Honestly, you should actually watch some cop videos, and you could see if a man is very aggressive, the police officers would react a certain way, especially if it's a heightened emotional male. Now, they might be more aggressive. It might not be as much, how would I say, a public servant. They treat you like a threat. Honestly, a threat. And you do not get any level of respect. So I do believe composure is very important for a male. I do think composure is very important for a female as well. But it has more leeway because of the type of, how men in general think about women and not controlling their emotions and so on and so forth. And to some degree, that's an advantage that women do have against men. Now, I've always sat down and I've been thinking about this whole red pill space and what they're trying to do. And I've looked at Fresh and Fit, Just Pretty Things, the Whatever podcast, and they do have a certain structure that I want you guys to understand. They provoke a lot of these young females who come on there. They're trying to provoke the emotions to prove their point. And I don't think they realize how divisive that could be, especially with the younger generation. Like I said again, negativity is an amazing tool to use, because humans, again, are technically negative creatures. There's a reason why we sometimes enjoy telling the lie rather than the truth. These podcasts, these channels, they always forget to emphasize what it means to be red pilled. Now, what do I mean by that? Of course, is that the red pill space is actually a luxury. It's literally a luxury. And the reason why I'm saying it's a luxury is because the only people who could really perform this level of lifestyle are the people at the top. Yes, the people at the top. I'm not talking about the average Joe. The average Joe, a lot of the relationships they have to compromise because that's how it is. Now, the red pill space, they are usually talking about people who own businesses, people who did good in like the stock market, people who have real estate, people who could provide for more than typically one woman. And this message is not emphasized enough. And what I'm thinking is that because it's not look at me screw up emphasized. Because it's not emphasized enough, I think the message gets skewed in a way. There's a lot of kids who, of course, know Andrew Tate, for example. there's a lot of kids and teenagers who know about Fresh and Fit. And what do these kids understand about money or being rich and wealthy? Most of these kids do not even understand that, but they love the negativity. That's for sure. I bet they could try to grab any level of, let's say Andrew Tate calls a woman a bitch because she does this, that, and the fourth. And a kid was listening to that and goes to school and spreads that around. Women are this and that. It's easy to take things out of context just because it's negative, right? I just find that very interesting. And the fact that kids kind of go around with this Andrew Tate, this Fresh and Fit, these Just Pearly Things, or whatever podcasts mentality without truly understanding what they're talking about is very dangerous. Because now, with this type of wrong messaging, you're basically telling that men, that this is okay. And it's a very sad thing. It's an uncomfortable truth. If you go anywhere, if you go to like a school, if you even sat down to talk to some kid and you talk about Andrew Tate, or if they know Fresh and Fit, I guarantee you they most likely will. And it's crazy because it makes me think how much damage or alteration these messages have affected these children. It is it's very sad. And honestly, if I have a child, I definitely do not want them to listen to Fresh and Fit or Just Pearly Things or the whatever podcasts, etc., etc. It's because the messaging is always skewed, and plus all these clips that other channels have taken from these red pill spaces and take them out of context, that also does some damage. But we know it brings in the views, it brings in the money. So from a, I guess, marketing and financial standpoint, it's good for them. But they don't realize the damage that they're doing. And this is why I'd advocate for parents to really pay attention to what their children are listening to and absorbing. Always makes me wonder. Now, another reason why the red pill spaces do not work is because the nuclear family is no longer common. The dollar is no longer what it used to be, it's less. If you lived in the 1980s and the 60s or 50s or anywhere below those years, if you made 100K, you were balling. You were the man. You make 100K now, you're middle class. You're middle class. And if you do have a family, you have to make more of a salary to be considered middle class. And it's different from a single father, single mother household. And the nuances that are not understood in these spaces, it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. We only concentrate on the generalities. We don't concentrate on the small things, which could be as equally important. Because sometimes those small things, it changes the whole trajectory of the arguments and what the red pill space is trying to support. Additionally, I would say most people live modern lifestyles despite trying to be traditional. there is not a there's such a more level ground when coming to women and men than it was back in the day, where men were supposed to be the providers. Now women are making money, and in some demographics of races, some women are outpacing men in terms of how much money they are making. So it just does not work. It does not work for today's society. And if you, of course, listening again to these influencers, you would see that they don't emphasize this enough at all. And like none of their stuff, they never tell people that most people live modern lifestyles. And when they bring these women on, they totally sometimes leave that information out, because again, these young women don't necessarily know or understand money or relationships. They're young, they're going through trial and errors, especially in their 20s. 20s is all about confusion and trying to figure things out for themselves, in my opinion. Of course, I believe in your 30s you should be definitely moving different. Now, these young women who come on here, they don't necessarily understand everything that their dad has done or what their mother has done. They haven't fully understand like what the dynamic is, because I didn't fully understand what the dynamic was until I actually left my parents' house and started to live alone. And until you do that, you start to understand, like, wow, my parents did this, that, and the fourth. Even the little things will start to, how would I say, that even the little things you start to appreciate. And that is just, I feel like that's a good point to make, because I feel like I haven't realized that until I started to live on my own. So I really do promote young adults to try to live on their own, because then you start to realize the appreciation you have for your parents. There's a lot of things that they did for you that you didn't realize, and now that you have to do those things for yourself, it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. Now that we have talked about the red pill space just for a little bit, I would like to get on the case of men. Men. Listen, y'all. The red pill space, man. If you guys, this is another thing. I have to take my time with this one. I can't get too emotional, because you know some of y'all men are gonna be like affected. You're gonna be like, oh, this man's a pussy, yada yada. Yeah, y'all are just ridiculous. Some of y'all are just really ridiculous. Now, this is from the middle class to the poor, alright? And everything between the damn rainbow. Anything between the color spectrum. It doesn't matter. Y'all men have to be better at vetting y'all women. It's important to understand what she does, and you have to understand for yourself what you want. Now, from celebrities to even me, the average peon, if we having a beautiful face for a woman, having a great body for a woman, good things, right? We all appreciate the beauty of a woman. All men appreciate the beauty of a woman. Black, white, in between, yellow, gray, who gives a fuck? Right? When we see something nice, we see something nice. And that's why there's a whole industry based off of it. It's because men consume that shit up. We love to see beauty. And so do other women. but mostly men. The reason why I want to point this out is because I see a lot of men, of course, who, especially great men, good men. Let's talk about the good men who love beautiful women, they wife them up, and now they're having all these issues in their relationship. Now, if you want a woman to be an equal partner, then you have to make sure that your woman that you are dating could be an equal partner with you, right? Right? So, if that woman is looking for a more traditional male, whether that be a provider and she stays at home, take care of the kids, and you do your thing, and you are an equal provider, and you think being equal is the best case for your situation, obviously you guys don't match up well. Now, there could be some compromises. There are some levels of exception, right? Let's say you do get together as an equal partner, somebody who subscribes to the equal lifestyle, and your woman subscribes to the provider lifestyle. Let's say you guys do end up in a relationship and you guys kind of even the scales. That does happen. But remember, there's a risk to that, right? You could also have the opposite effect, which is, of course, the woman being a pain in the ass, isn't upset because she's not making enough money. She wants this, she wants that, she wants the third. Her attitude is out of this fucking world, and you're just sitting back and you're just suffering. You're mad, you're upset, your personality is changing. This woman is hell on earth. She's no longer your beast, right? So again, that's why it's important to properly vet your woman. And as for women too, women, you need to vet your man. But we're gonna get to you guys later. I'm not even trying to start with that. There's a lot going on in the woman's sphere as well. So please vet your woman. If the woman that you are dating was a 304 out here in the streets, and then you decided to wife her up, honestly, that's your fault, my man. Because if she still out here being a 304, even with being with you, it's kind of the probability of that happening was already high to begin with. There has been many times where I have witnessed personally myself when a male wifed up a 304 and ended up, of course, sad, heartbroken because he fell in love, had a baby, but now she's having a baby with another man, so now you're just the other baby father. I've heard those situations so many times, and usually these happen to good men, but that's because they typically don't understand their value and what they provide in a relationship. Now, if you know of your man, you're making an average salary or you're making above an average salary, make sure you protect your assets. Make sure you protect you. Make sure you don't stick your dick in anything you see that's attractive, a big butt, big boobs, whatever, nice face. Because ultimately, you guys can't risk that. You're risking your peace. You're risking your finances. You're risking a whole bunch of things that could set you back. And I know in today's age, where the feminist movement is powerful, and all this random toxic shit that's coming out of the feminist movement might be affecting your mind, but you have to really realize what you could provide and what do you want in your relationship. And if you don't have that down pat, you don't need to be in a relationship until you solve that for yourself. If you think being in a lifestyle where being out there and fucking around is something that you want to do, then go do that. Don't wife anything up. And if a girl comes to you and she wants to be with you and she subscribes to your lifestyle, then cool. If it's not, tell her what it is. Don't hide that shit. Just tell her what it is. It will save you a headache. It will save her a headache. And there's plenty of fish in the sea. And I guarantee you're gonna find one who just loves the way you move. And that's cool. That's cool. But properly vet your woman. Make sure that, she fits the lifestyle that you fit. If he doesn't, then stop. Don't waste your time. It's just a headache at the end of the day. Y'all need to do better. I mean, even celebrities. There's plenty of times where a celebrity wants to have this woman because she's beautiful, you talk, yada, you guys mesh well, and she's a model. And now you have an issue with wifing up the model because she's showing her body. She's been showing her body. Like, what are y'all doing? Properly vet your woman. If you're not doing that, if you're not understanding your value, and that's the main cause, don't be in a relationship. You get yourself a goddamn headed. I truly don't understand some of y'all out there. Y'all are annoying as hell. Next thing that bothers me. Asking to be treated like a king, but you do not provide emotional or financial support. Like, oh my God, these are the worst type of men, I tell you. The reason why I'm saying these are the worst type of men is because, like, they provide no value at all in the relationship and still want to be treated like a goddamn king. King for what? You ain't no dang king. You can't just walk into somebody else's castle, especially if it's not your castle, and then demand all this stuff because you're solely based because you're a man. Boy, there's a few things you need to do to even get to that level, to even be respected in that way. Are you kidding me? I seen this video where a guy just, to be honest, it was technically the woman's fault, but screw that. A guy, of course, was down on his luck, and he wanted to move in with a woman, and so he did. Now, this man didn't think he didn't need to pay the bills. He didn't think he needed to provide a space for his woman to be comfortable. And long story short, he wanted to be treated like a king. Now tell me that's not stupid. That is the most idiotic thing I have ever heard. You cannot do that. You can't just walk into somebody else's space, not pay the bills, not provide a space for your woman to be comfortable, and then ask to be treated like a king, and you're not even doing anything that's king-like. You can't do that. There are levels to this. And what made me mad about what I've heard about in this scenario, this man think he didn't need to pay no bills. Are you kidding me? Let me get this right. You want to go up into somebody's house, not your house. You didn't pay for it. You didn't pay for it at all. You want to eat the food. You want to reap all the benefits from the woman who's technically providing for you, if you think about it, and still treat me like a king. I'm telling you, some of these egos on these men, it's incredible. It's incredible. Oh shit. Now there's the opposite of that scenario, of course. There's also, I know some men who make good money but settle for the worst type of woman. The woman provides no substance, doesn't cook, doesn't clean, doesn't do anything. Not even good mother material. Just out here in these streets wanting to do what they want to do. As a man, like I said, it's important to understand your value. If you know you're making more than the average male, if you know that you are making 6 figures and up, if you know you're making millions of dollars in the stock market, you deserve a good woman, right? It's different if you want to fuck around, but it's important to understand if you do want to get married, you have to make sure the woman you are settling for provides some level of value as you are providing value to her. right? So you go. Let me backtrack a little bit. Now, there has been many instances where a man, of course, even celebrities, if we talk about this give a good one, Johnny Depp, or we talk about even the Logan Paul situation that just happened, he just engaged. If the woman, of course, is just sleeping around, and she has a pattern of just sleeping around with whoever has the most money, whoever has, whoever looks good to them, and so forth and so on, whatever tickles a little fancy, there is a problem there, don't you see? So as a man, do you really want to try to see if you could correct that? You will have too much to lose, I would say. The peace of mind is an amazing thing to try to have for yourself. You need a peace of mind. Period. So, like, when I'm listening to the type of woman they are in their history that's out there that everybody knows, and this high value man goes over there and just wifes her, it's sad, because just from history, from just witnessing from other people and knowing other men experiences, that never has gone well. There have been a few exceptions, but again, if you're doing a balance of probability, it's not likely you're gonna get what you want out of it. And plus, if you're trying to change them, of course they're gonna try to pull that feminist shit on you, right? They're gonna go say, hey, my body, my choice, I could do whatever I want. But I feel like what they're not understanding is there is a certain bell curve that goes with it, and they're all the way to the right side of all that, or they're all the way on the left side. They're never in between. What I find out, but that's technically not their fault. If you knew she was doing this before, it's your fault. You gave her access to the relationship. You let the wolf inside your den. What do you want? What do you truly want? Now, women, all the manipulation tactics, and I thought men were bad. Shit. What I find interesting is that a lot of women tend to overvalue themselves, because they believe that they could cook, they could clean, and they could provide babies. That's enough. They really think that makes them high value. Oh yeah, a job as well. Although most men typically try to prescribe to the traditional lifestyle, so they truly don't really care about that shit at the end of the day. Some men do, a lot of men don't. Now, what I mean by overvaluing themselves is like what I just said, like 5-10 seconds ago. It's like we could also find another woman who could cook, who could clean, and who could possibly provide me a child. It does not make you a trophy because you could do those simple things. You have not told me anything about where your mind is at. You haven't told me anything about if you would be a good mother. Being a mother is one thing. Would you be a good mother? You never tell me about that either. Never. And then you don't even tell me what type of peace you could provide me. But you all pretty much go for the cook, clean, and babies. I mean, again, somebody else could provide me that. You have to tell me a little bit more. You gotta get deep into it. You gotta make me have the antennas go up. If you're gonna say everything, if you're gonna say everything that another woman would say in this collective, then you're not really showing me that you are different. And some of y'all women ain't shit. I ain't gonna lie. Some of y'all women think you have it all, and I'm amazed because like this would be a good man right in front of your face, and you be complaining about not getting a good man. And then some of these women said, "I only go for men who come after me," and typically they're not even good men themselves. Because again, it goes back to vetting. Women do have some women do have issue with vetting, and sometimes they like to date the same man over and over and over and over again, and it's a nasty pattern. I've noticed it in my family. I've noticed it outside. I've noticed it in college. I've noticed it everywhere you could imagine, and I find it pretty interesting. I've seen women say, "I could change a man," and I'm like, a man's not gonna change unless he wants to change. Period. And why would you even put yourself in that predicament? Why would you want to work hard to change a man's personality or change a man's ways? Why would you want to do it? Because he look good? That's it. And then if it doesn't even end up in the, like, if the relationship goes into ruin, then you're crying, you're sobbing. You say, why you did that to me? You got 2 fucking babies from this man, and he wasn't shit from the get-go. I truly don't understand. It's baffling to me. I'm not saying all women do this. I'm just saying that there are women out there who follow this pattern, and it's mind-boggling. And then you go to your girlfriends, you complain, and some of your girlfriends notice that this is a pattern with you, but they don't want to admit that to you. They don't want to say, well, didn't your ex do this? Did your ex do that? Did your third ex? Did your 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th? You can keep going on and on. And honestly, and it's problematic. It's truly problematic. Anyway, I think I just went over a rant about that, but that really drives me insane as well. It's like you are purposely shooting yourself in the foot. You need to understand the behaviors and the actions of what this man does and what he do. Is he ambitious? Does he show potential in providing? Is he getting somewhere in life? Do you know he'd be a good father? Y'all have to understand that too. It's your responsibility who you open your legs to. Now, again, I guess overvaluing themselves also goes a little bit into not understanding what a man needs. So there's no point of me going into that because I kind of described what that was. But one thing, if you ever listen to, I don't even know why someone would do this, but I've listened to some of these group chats, physical and virtual. A lot of you tend to lie to each other, and then you guys consider that support. Lying and support. Fascinating. Now listen, let's be real. If you have a homegirl, let's say she's not doing well in life, obviously she has a lot of toxic traits, she's potentially overweight, and what I mean by overweight is that her health is bad as well. There are some superwomen out there who can handle it. Do you? But when it comes to a time where your big friend is unhealthy, and you notice when she goes up a little incline of a hill, and she's sitting down there panting and having a damn heart attack or asthma attack, and you keep saying, you know what, you're fine, girl, you look good, don't worry about that, yada yada, we all go through that. That's not what you're supposed to say. That is not what you're supposed to say. You could get any guy you want. You fine, you know. No. No, 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 no. We don't do that, yo. You're lying to them. Sometimes you're better off just telling them the truth. You know, there's no point in lying. No point in supporting the, I guess, toxic behavior too. If you know your girl is toxic as hell, like to fight, like to go off, that's a problem. No man want that either. You gotta sometimes tell her what it is. And if she does have anger problems, tell her we gotta figure out something to solve that issue. You don't be like that. It's like, oh, you know, you're just a Scorpio, or you're just a Taurus, you know. No, hold them accountable. I hate when y'all do that to each other, because now that you're telling that to them, they think it's okay, and then when they get into a relationship, they're gonna think that's okay, and it's not. Just tell them how it is. Simple. Jesus, man. I wish men could do that, just lie for support, but men typically be like man up or some toxic shit like that, or be like, hey, you know, you suck, or be like, you know, you gotta do a little better than this, you look like shit, yada yada. Like, men are often more in your face, I would say, in my opinion. Now, there are some men out there who are just, they either don't say nothing, or they're just very secretive of how they feel about the situation, and they're kind of in the same feel of lying for support. And there's always intersections. There's always somebody who's going to be the intersection. Now, again, making excuses to justify certain behaviors. That's really not okay. And if you do this, please, women, just tell your friend what it is. If they keep complaining and you know why they ended up in that situation, or you know that it's their fault, you gotta come clean. Sometimes it's better to tell the truth and then support the negative attributes that your best friend has, or negative traits, or negative whatever it is. If you know it's a problem, hold them accountable, and also be accountable for yourself. And I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but I am kind of trying to tell you what to do in a way. But I'm just trying to see if, like, logically, does this make sense to you to do, or are you continuing with the fuckery? And if you're with that, you're with that. That's your life. I'm just saying, I don't think that's the right way to go. Another thing that bothers the hell out of me is that women typically want a traditional man, but they are a modern career woman. I don't understand the logic, because you want a traditional man who provides for you, makes 6 figures, but then you're a career woman who makes 6 figures as well, or you make upwards to that amount of money, and you want your man to provide more money, which is okay. You want your man to provide more money, but remember, you got into this relationship with this man. I'm gonna let that sit in. So you want a man to make more money because you make more money. Now I get it. Women want to be taken care of. They want a man to go out there, protect them, do this, that, and the fourth. Be out there in the wilderness. Be out there in the cold ass weather, rainy weather, hot weather, tsunami, hurricanes, all that good shit. Earthquakes. I get it. You want a man to be naturally masculine, right? And what comes to that is the financial, right? Now, a lot of what I found very interesting is a lot of women don't understand what the average man makes. The average man makes about $50,000 to $45,000. That's what an average man makes. And you're a career-based woman, you're a modern woman who makes over six figures, and you want a man to make over that? That's highly unlikely. That is very unlikely. Not only that, you make more money, some men can't even fathom being in a relationship with you because they know that you make more money than them. And it's actually rare for a woman to date down. You cannot, if you know you're well off, you're doing good in life, and you're doing better than average, but yet you want a man to do all these things for you and provide and have the money down packed, it's going to be difficult for you. The dating pool is small up top. The dating pool is small up top for your woman. And so it's either you date quote unquote down, or you date quote unquote up. But remember, when you go up, the men have different expectations from the average male. They request a little bit more from you. And they probably have a whole set of women on deck who is not even career driven, who you're competing against. So it kind of drives me nuts when I hear a very strong career driven woman wanting a man who makes more than them, because it doesn't make any sense, because y'all not dating down. It's either you're dating down, you're dating up, or you're dating at your level. But even then, sometimes dating at a woman who makes that much money at their level could be difficult. It's like a power struggle sometimes. It's a power struggle. And I don't think a lot of men who are considering other women for marriage finds that very attractive to them, no matter how good looking you are. I don't think that matters. I don't think that matters at all. There's definitely certain attributes that come with being a career woman. I'm not saying that, you know, it's a bad thing. Do what you need to do, but you got to realize what that comes with. Society will put you in the place no matter what you try to fight. Society will put you in the place, and the dating market will put you in the place. Simple as that. Now, unfortunately, some of y'all career-driven women who make six figures or higher than that, dating down might be your only option. But you can always try up. Well, let me tell you, dating up, there's a lot that comes with it. It's a lose-lose situation. It's a lose-lose situation. I'm not gonna lie, it's a lose-lose situation. Because most men are technically have more traditional than modern values, while more women are more modern than they are traditional these days. But they want a traditional man. The logic is definitely amazing. Well, that's what I hear. This is my thoughts, and this is what I have for you guys today. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please follow and please support, send your love, and I would greatly appreciate it. Peace out.